Hello, my name is Judy. Welcome to the Liberated Multitasker. Today, I have a wonderful budget meal for you. Something we used to eat growing up. We're going to start off by putting some water in a pot. And then we're going to add some peas. These are peas that come from my garden. These are pink eye purple hull peas from my freezer. They've already been blanched, so they won't take a long time to cook. The main thing is to making sure I have the seasonings right. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of water to my pan. However, something is going on with my eye and it's flaming a little high, so I'm going to switch it to another eye. It ends up when I cleaned the stove, I knocked the top off a little bit. So this is field corn that I grew in my garden last year. So I'm just going to put it in the pan as well. I'm preheating my oven to 450 degrees. I'm going to make some cornbread. I'm going to start off by just putting a little bit of bacon grease in each of the muffin tins. We have always done this. You don't want to put too much because it'll flow over. I'm putting about a half a teaspoon per tin. Then I'm going to put this oven and let that bacon grease get good and hot while I mix up my cornbread. See, just a little bit of bacon grease. And it goes. Now, this is my own cornmeal mix that I've mixed up for myself. I ground my corn from the garden and mixed it up. However, you can use any store-bought cornmeal mix you prefer. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm just using avocado oil. You can use any oil of your choice. I'm going to add 1 large egg. Yes, my chickens are still laying a little bit, and so I'm still getting some eggs. And then we're going to add about a cup of buttermilk. Now I'm adding this a little along. I want to make sure that I have no dry pockets. And no matter how much I mix it, I always end up with a little bit of dry cornmeal pockets in there. So I'm just adding it a little along, mixing it all good. I want to make sure I have the right consistency. Now if I need more liquid after this cup of buttermilk, then I'll add just a little bit of water. And I'm just stirring it in, stirring it from the bottom, make sure that I have all of this good and wet. Right now, I'm just breaking up this corn. It was good and frozen. You want to make sure you don't let your corn start sticking to the pan. A little bit more water now. And now I'm back to mixing my cornbread. I added just a little bit of water at that time. I think we're just about there. I'm still finding some dry cornmeal in this mixture. I'm going to give everything a taste test. The peas definitely need some salt. So I'm adding a good amount of salt there. And now I'm going to taste the corn after I stir the peas. If I can get it on my fork. Definitely needs salt and pepper. Now, my father was born in the Great Depression era. And so there were 5 of those kids and his family were farmers. And so there were times when they did not always have meat at a meal. And if they had cornbread or biscuits with some vegetables, that was a lot of times considered a meal. So today, my budget meal is going to be peas, corn, and cornbread. There's many times growing up that we had this meal for breakfast, and it is very filling. Now, don't get me wrong, we love meat. But sometimes just a simple meal like this is wonderful, and it will definitely fill the bellies. Right now, I'm just scooping my cornbread mixture into my hot muffin tins, and then I will end up putting that back in the oven and baking it at 450 degrees from anywhere to 12 to 15 minutes. Now, I think the trick to budget meals is that you do serve bread, whether it's biscuits or cornbread or a loaf of bread, maybe with some butter, some jam, or some cheese, and I think that helps stretch your meal a long way. Now, here I'm adding just a little bit of olive oil. My corn is starting to stick just a little bit, so I'm going to cut that eye off, but I want to go ahead and stir it up and make sure nothing is sticking to the pan. And I do normally like to add a little bit of oil or a piece of bacon or okra to my peas, but today I just used olive oil. Now, in full disclosure, this day I did end up broiling some boneless pork chops. However, this was my meal, just peas, corn, and cornbread. My husband had the same meal with a pork chop. So this is really simple and easy. All these things that I'm cooking for you now are things that I grew in the garden, the corn I ground for the cornbread. And I will link that video at the end if you're interested in seeing that. This peas and corn I grew in the garden has already been blanched, and the cook time was very, very quickly. And even broiling the pork chops was pretty quick if you need something quick and easy for a meal that includes meat. Now, this cornbread comes out of these tins really easy. I baked them, I think it was about 12 minutes this time. Sometimes it's 15, sometimes it's 12. They look good. They're nice and brown. I'm just going to put them in this bowl. Now, one of my favorite ways to eat cornbread is to scoop out the middle and put some butter and some sugar cane syrup. We've done honey before, and we've even put jam in it before, and it is just so good. So I hope you give this a try. This was my meal on this day. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon.